Okay, I apologize. I forgot to do this video, so um, hopefully you were able to fill out the ELA notebook paper. Um, I gave you the video to watch, and you were to fill it out as you watched that video. I will show you what should be on there, so just to double check to make sure that you did it correctly. So let's look at that now. Well, first of all, if you haven't already, make sure you fill out your table of contents. You have theme, and then it'll be on page 20 in your table of contents because we're only doing one page. Okay. And then after you filled out this form, you would then glue it on page 20. Now let's look at it a little bit bigger so we can actually see it. All right. So in the video, they right away gave the definition of theme. Okay. And it said, the lesson the author wants us to learn from the story. It's also the message, lesson, or moral of a story, but the one that you should have put there from the video was the lesson the author wants us to learn from the story. Okay, so when we're coming to a theme, it's like the Aesop's fables, the tortoise and the hare. The hare is bragging that he's faster, and the tortoise races him and actually wins because the hare goes and takes a nap because he has so much confidence. And then we learn at the end of the story that slow and steady wins the race. Okay, so that is an example of a theme. Another word for that is a moral. Okay, it's a moral of the story. It's a lesson that the author is teaching us. Okay, then they told you in the video how to find a theme. The first step is to observe what the characters in the story say or do. So that's what you should have put for number one. So it's like the evidence, right? When we looked for character traits, when we looked for inferencing, when all of that, we looked for what the characters' actions were and the dialogue. Okay, so this is going to be your evidence right here. And then once you observe or look for what the character says or does, then you ask yourself, step two, what were the consequences of those actions? Now, some consequences can be good and some can be bad. So you might learn a lesson from something that the character did that was good, okay? Or you might learn a lesson from something the character did wrong, okay? Something that they messed up with. Either way, the author can use those to teach a lesson. Okay. Then they gave you three rules, and these are important rules to know. The first, themes are complete sentences. Okay. So everything I do, right, is a complete sentence. So make sure that when you are writing a theme, it must be a complete sentence, not a one word thing. Number two, themes never include characters' names. Okay. So what this means is that you will never see, like when you're doing a main idea, you will have characters' names, right? Because you're getting the main idea from the story. But a theme is not about the story necessarily. We use the story to learn the theme, but it's for the readers, it's to teach them a lesson. It's not for the characters in the story. So we're never going to see characters' names. And the reason is because number three, a theme is true for everyone. And really, this is the only thing you needed to write. You didn't have to put the young or old, rich or poor. Um, it's true for everyone. So if we say a theme is that um, Tom shouldn't have stole the um, potato chips from the store. Well, my name's not Tom, so it doesn't apply to me, and I've never stolen potato chips, so that doesn't apply to me. Okay. So that's why you need to give a theme that can apply to everyone. And then they did that in the video, they went through Cinderella, right? And you don't have to write all three of these, just write one of them. And I don't care which one you write, but choose one to write. They talked about nothing is impossible with teamwork. They didn't say um, that the mice and birds, because the mice and birds worked together, they made a dress. Okay, well, I'm not a mouse or a bird, so that wouldn't apply to me. And I've never made a dress before, so that wouldn't apply to me. You can't even say, if you work together, you can create a dress. Well, that doesn't make sense because there's no desire at all for me to create a dress. So that wouldn't apply to me. And it must apply to everyone. A theme is true for everyone. So that's why you make it general like this and you say nothing is impossible with teamwork. That means if you work together as a team, you can do anything. Okay, so we're not being specific with who is doing it and we're not being specific with what they're making. It's just anything if you work together. Then another one is true love will always win in the end. And even if you don't believe that, that's still the theme that the Cinderella movie was saying. Okay. And then don't be cruel or bad things will happen to you. So this one is um, the consequence was a bad consequence, right? And we learned what not to do. So the stepsisters were cruel, and then bad things happened to them in the end. They didn't get what they wanted. Okay. So once you fill this out, then just glue that into your notebook. Now, in class, I gave them a pre-test just to see what they knew about theme before we did this. If you're at home, I'm not going to worry about that. The only thing I need you to do is fill this out and glue it into your ELA notebook. Okay. Have a great day. Bye.